What's up, guys? My name's Alex Nelson.
And I'm Tyler Bailey,
We want to welcome you to Versed
where we talk about our life experiences that have brought us here.
and becoming more versed into what matters to us. Let's get it.
There's a red light there.
I guess 3.
There's a red light there.
Man, I hadn't done that in a while. I had to just get it out.
All right, segue.
I can't stand y'all.
Did you notice Elijah's text message the other day when he also said that?
I know I did.
You didn't respond to it, and I laughed so hard. I thought it was so funny.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I think I was in the middle of doing something, but I looked at Mariah and I was like, he said segue. I did laugh. I just didn't respond.
That's funny. We're back, baby.
Let's go.
Episode
Welcome.
11.
Episode 11.
We are in agreement and unity that this is episode 11.
Yes, episode 11, not 12, not 10,
It's episode 011. 11.
0.
Once.
Is it once? It
It is.
is once. Once, don't say. I don't know the. I don't.
Don't say?
Is it not don't say?
I don't know what it is, actually.
I was really hoping you'd correct me on that.
I think it's Dolce
Dolce.
and Gabbana.
I was going to say Dolce and Gabbana.
All right, dude, we got to segue out of this, okay? I'm sorry.
Oh, my. Do you have your mic?
Dude.
Do you have your mic? Oh, you don't have your mic.
I'm only doing it to just make you upset right now on purpose. Because it's funny.
No, it's okay.
Just joking.
No, I appreciate
Because I
you.
love you.
I love you more. I do love you more. I love you mostest. Guys, welcome to episode 11.
Yeah, welcome.
Tyler,
We're here.
I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm happy to be here with you. Another one. Yeah, episode 11. It's cool. We are at the start of the next 10 episodes. And we got a good one, I think, for the people.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a
fresh fire.
fresh. It's like a bubble of fire just a brewing in my
Fresh
in my
fire. Fresh fire. Fire of the heavens.
stomach. Open the heavens right now.
Fresh oil. Fresh oil. Episode 11.
Turn your ears to this pod.
Because I'm not satisfied with episode 10, episode 9. Here's my heart for 11.
Elijah got a new laptop. Yes, he did.
Holy shenanigans, baby. That's really what we're about, man.
I know. So good.
But
We have some exciting news of what just happened this past weekend.
go ahead and share it.
Oh, I was going to throw it to you. You want me?
Yeah.
So this past weekend, if you did not hear, if you did, we did a thing called, or our church did. Our church put on a thing called Baptize California. And we united, he's wearing the hat right now. We united
No, I had to.
across the entire state of California, 300 plus churches who were host churches, 56 counties out of 58 counties in the state of California decided to say yes to be a host church to baptize. We also, in Huntington Beach, California, we ended up setting up this massive, massive stage. We had tons of artists. We had Martin Smith. We had Bethel. We had Southeastern University come through. Tons of people came through. It was amazing. We had an incredible house bands of the most bomb musicians. And on that day, on the beach of Huntington Beach, was around 6,000 baptisms.
Yeah, it was.
And then it was around 6,000 baptisms statewide. So that was with all the other host churches baptizing. And it was around 12,000. What was the number? 12,216.
216.
I was going to say 63. 16.
I think you said 216.
Oh, I was going to say 63 by accident. Sorry. 12,216.
We just know it was 12,000 plus.
It was 12,000 plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Insane.
is a lot.
That is a lot of baptisms.
And going from that, from jumping to there, from Baptize SoCal last year, where we were at like 4,700 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
45, 46.
which are still amazing. But then, like, you see, like,
a year later,
6,000 plus just at Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And then 6,000 plus the rest of the state.
Oh my gosh. It was,
Yeah.
dude, it was incredible.
So sick.
What were you doing that day?
On Baptize California?
Yeah. What was your job? What was your role?
Saturday night, I was on a security/safety team. You know, they had to throw in that word safety in there.
Had to make sure that was
Yeah.
segued in there. Sure.
Yeah. and then the second night, you just dropped your own oil, man.
I did. I got myself.
Jeez. But the second night, on Sunday night, this man hates the word segue, and he just used it.
No, I'm sorry. I just had to. I'm just like, it came to mind. So I was like, I might as well. I'm crying right
That's
now.
his own fault.
Yeah, didn't.
But yeah, it was legit. But Sunday was the same thing. But then I also was asked to help baptize in the water.
Yes.
Which
And how
was my
that?
very first time ever doing that.
Was that your first time like ever like actually baptizing
I
someone?
never baptized anybody in my life.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me. Like how was your experience?
It was epic.
Come on.
So I went down there because
How many did you end up baptizing?
maybe 5 or 6,
Bro, that's awesome.
which is super cool.
Yeah.
But I know that there's some of the other guys that were doing it, some of the other men and women doing it were like, dude, they were like over 50, 100, something. I don't know. Just so the way it worked was that you were supposed to work hour shifts just to give everybody a break because there's just so many people. Like you saw the lines wrapped around like the entire stage and then going to like the boardwalk.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
all for like the baptism.
Oh, and they were like not single file lines.
No,
they were
yeah,
like
there was
two
there was
super
like 2 or
thick.
3 like
Like almost as wide as this room. Like
Yeah.
that's one entire
there were
lane.
multiple lanes and rows.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, so
The hunger, bro.
yeah, it was. But it was you know, on the beach they had all these lanes and everyone was supposed to work hour shifts, but literally this is how cool the church is, man, is that once you get in and get your hands like working, like there were some people who were in there for 5 hours baptizing because they were loving it.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because you see this and you're like, this brings like one, it's life-changing for the person being baptized, but 2, the person doing the baptizing is like the overflow of joy
Oh, yeah.
that you see from, you know, person going underwater, like the dead life, you know, the old life, like dying to it themselves in the
Yes.
water,
Yeah.
and then coming out of the water a new person,
Oh, yeah.
and you see it on their face.
Yeah, and the pastors and leaders in the water came in clutch because if those listening, if you've never been in California waters, it's freezing. Like
Honestly, it
very
wasn't
cold.
that bad.
Was it not bad from your perspective?
At least for
Okay.
me, but I didn't think it was that bad. I think I was just super fired up.
That's probably what it was. Everyone's adrenaline
Yeah.
just pumped up, ready to go, and maybe
It was
moments
so
it was
cool.
cold, but the fact that somebody being in there for 5 to
Yeah.
6 hours, you know.
So I got to baptize a few people, just random people. One of them was a friend of a friend who came in. That was the first one. The second one was like there was a couple that came in. The third one was a guy who couldn't get his legs wet, like physically wet. Water couldn't touch his legs. I didn't know what he had, or you know, so he had to wrap his legs in trash bags and
Oh,
duct tape
man.
the trash bags.
But did he have like a condition or something?
I don't know what it was,
Oh,
but he
man.
just said he can't get his legs wet. So we had 4 guys like help out, make sure his pretty much. I mean,
pick
his
him
legs
up?
went in the water, but like they were covered by the bags.
But he couldn't get immersed.
yeah, so we pretty much
man.
like dunked him down, and he came up, and this dude was lit. Like,
He was fired
up.
I love that
It was,
so much.
He was like, yeah. And I was like, yes. It was cool.
That's awesome.
And I did it like a 5-year-old kid.
Oh, that
Was
so
wild.
much joy.
It was
man.
five,
You
6-year-old
baptized a
boy.
5-year-old kid?
But he was young, bro. He was probably older than 5,
I love that so much.
but he was young, like so young, and he was just like, yeah. And
Did you
I
get
was like-
emotional at all?
It was cool. That one hit differently.
Sure.
And then my 2 friends, Nikki and Ashley, that you met.
Yes.
Yeah, I baptized them. That was cool.
Was
That
it
a
with
cool
their
moment.
with their kids too, or just
No,
just them
them.
two?
Just them too.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, we told them about the kids, about dedicating the kids at the
Yeah.
church. So, but yeah, as far as baptism goes, they took that step because they had never been baptized in water through the Christian faith. So,
Dude.
yeah, they were fired up.
Was
And that
Nikki
a-
was Nikki stoked?
They both were. It was a really special moment. They got it on camera too, so it was just really cool because we've been kind of helping them out and trying to help be leaders to them in a way, and it was definitely a full circle moment.
They're so special.
Yeah, it was just cool because they were, talking about like they wanted, they needed to wait for certain reasons. I forget why, but they were just like, there was something Pastor Mark said that convicted them in church, and they were like, okay, we're getting baptized. And it was just like, okay, this is sick. Like,
Just that green
go
light
and do it,
came on.
man. Yeah. So that was super cool. But yeah, it was just epic weekend. So I did that for like maybe like 30 or 40 minutes because they didn't, honestly, it was such a grateful, I was so grateful for the experience to do it, but I was needed back on security because we needed more bodies up there at the time. And
Bro, you
because there
came
were
in-
so many people doing the
Yeah.
baptizing, it was like, dude, there was no shortage of that, which was amazing.
You came in clutch. Me watching you from afar, you were in your zone.
Oh, on security?
Yeah, and I love it too.
Dude,
You're just in your zone.
It was so
love
cool,
it.
man. I had a revelation. It was crazy. Yeah, it was cool. I know a little bit from Baptize SoCal when I was doing security for Baptize SoCal, where I brought like my cop experience for that too when
Yeah.
it came to security. But this one hit so much different, I think, just because it was a grander scale,
Sure.
And one of someone from church, they came up to me and she says, I won't put names, but she says, she goes, isn't it so wild you're doing your job? Like you're doing your job that you left to come and do it here.
That's
And it was special because she was actually one of the very first people to give Jess and I a prophetic word. And when we first got our hammers at church, so when we first became members of the church, Oceans Church, she came up and gave us a prophetic word and encouraged us. And then the fact that she was the one to come up to me and tell me that, it was just like, oh, wow, like, look what I'm doing. It's like wild. Like I'm putting my skills into the, like, for the kingdom though. But when I left the department almost 2 years ago now, I remember right after I left, I felt like the Lord told me, you're just not going to want to miss out on what's about to happen.
Yeah, that's good.
I didn't really know what that meant. I think that means so many things for Jess and I, our family, business, opportunities, career, whatever. But then Baptize SoCal happened. And we're like, oh yeah, like think of all the things that happened in a year I would have missed out on if I had stayed. But then this one, Baptize California happened, and I'm thinking about that moment, and I felt when I just remember, Holy Spirit speaking to me saying like, you're just not going to want to miss what's to come.
That's awesome.
You're not going to want to miss out on this. And yeah, I was like, I don't ever want to miss out on anything like this again, ever.
That's awesome.
Because it was so fulfilling.
That's awesome.
Being able to like just be out there and serving, and it doesn't feel like serving. Because that's the thing, it doesn't feel like work. It's not work. It's like, I do this because I love God. Like I do this because I love our house. I love our church. Like I love our pastors. I love our, our friends, our family. Like this isn't work. It's labeled as serving, but it doesn't feel like that because I'm like, all we're doing is we're building something together. So like, it just felt it's so fulfilling that the joy of doing this it's so fulfilling, being able to just go and contribute where my skills are, I have skills in, and then just allow things to take place. And it was just so fun, man.
So in a way, you're meaning like from a place of you're serving, but you were so immersed and caught up in the fact that I get to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And I'm in it. It didn't really feel like you were serving because you were so like,
I don't mean
I'm
like,
a part of this.
like serving is serving is the biggest blessing, right?
Yeah.
We serve because Jesus served, right, for sure. But I guess what I'm trying to make people understand and feel through this serving aspect is that it was a moment of like, I can't believe that I am a part of this. Like, that's the feeling I had. Like, I just was so like in awe of what God was doing through, our pastors, our church, our, the entire, everyone involved. It was just like, look what we've done. Like, look what they did. Like, this is crazy. It's life-changing, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it was, they were talking about the other day, it was like Huntington Beach was saying, this is the best event we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Statewide.
Isn't that crazy?
This is the best event we've ever seen. And then it's like, holy smokes, It's just so cool. And it was so cool just to be out there doing our thing and being a part of it and, just having a hand in somewhere.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
and
that's
helping,
so good.
just helping wherever I could.
I love that.
And it was a blast.
It was cool to see the pastors throughout the counties and all across just California to catch the vision, and they catch it and they feel the stirring. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm in. I'm gonna bring the church in as well. And the cool part, anybody could you can go back and watch it, Baptize California. But there was a moment. I think it was Sunday because Sunday was the big baptism. Was the big baptism day because it was Pentecost Sunday. It was so cool because the way they put it all together was they did live streams throughout all of California. So there was a moment, this massive LED screen, and they were playing live streams and clips and footages from other churches of people getting baptized at the exact same time that everyone else was being baptized on the beach.
Super special.
So that was cool because it's almost like a tornado, like whirlwind of like, there's so many like stuff happening, all great stuff, but it was just like in a great way. It was just, there was this swirl of just God happening on the screen. So you're watching someone that's like North California or South or inland California, and at the exact same time, you're watching thousands being baptized. Now I'm watching a handful of dozens, hundreds of people on the screen at the exact same time. So it was like this task. I've never been a part of something like that before. So to see it from like my end was just like, it was just awesome. It was just really cool to be a part of that.
I think even Peru.
Yes, that's right. And what was the number again?
I don't know on Peru, but it was just.
Was it? What was it? Was it a couple hundred? There's 300.
300?
Yeah, it's 300.
300 plus? So maybe?
300. Yeah, 300 plus. Somebody can correct us on that. But yeah, 300.
But still.
That's
Peru?
Yeah, Peru. That's so awesome. Peru.
Wow. Yeah, it's special.
It is special.
So what did you end up doing what was your assignment for the weekend?
For the BapCal?
Yeah.
BapCal?
Yeah.
I was a host, so yeah. BapCal.
BapCal.
BapCals. I was a host, so I helped a lot with some of the artists that came in, but I mainly drum teched for a lot of the drummers. But the main drummer, shout out Kendall, he's a drummer out of Nashville.
Shout out.
Absolute monster, just beast, beast of a drummer. I love this style, but it was so fun for me, just an honor to just serve him and the other drummers as well. But I was just on the side of the stage, had my ears in. I just kind of stood there and just waited for a moment. So if no one really knows what a drum tech is, drum techs normally set gear up, they tune, or they're just kind of there for the person. If something if something happened with a drummer, if a boom stand or something fell, cymbal falls off, I'm there to like react and respond and stuff like that. So I did that Saturday and Sunday. And that was just so much fun on my behalf because I got to serve. And it was just really cool because I've had people do that for me, but it was just cool because it's very rare that I get to do that from my end to them. So it was just cool to kind of like be in the shadows and just be on the side, but also watch, but also learn too. Because Kendall's such a beast drummer. I was taking so many notes of him.
That's cool.
Of just everything he was doing. Oh yeah, I learned so much these past 2 days than I have ever in so many different seasons of my life. And so like one snippet of 2 days, I learned so much. But I got to learn a lot about people too.
Yeah.
And even just connecting with a lot of the artists too. They are the most amazing, most down-to-earth humans in the entire planet. And they are absolute monsters of musicians. And we literally had the best of the best on one platform. And so it was just cool to do that, serve them and stuff like that. And also from like my perspective, so like when you're looking at the stage, you see the back of people's heads, but when you're constantly on the stage, and I know you were on the stage, you were the other side of me. Yeah. So I'm sure you caught glimpses of this as well, but it's so cool to see the people's eyes, to see the encounters happen and to watch someone's reaction when someone gets baptized or when God moves or a miracle happens or something supernaturally happens. It's so fun to watch. There are so many kids. I got choked up a few times because the joy from a mom and dad. Yeah. Dude, it got me so many times to watch a mom and dad watch their child. I watched one kid, he got baptized, and when he came up, this little kid just starts just crying. And it was one of those things, it was like either it's cold or it scared him, but something in me was like, I don't think it's any of those things. I think he's really experiencing Jesus right now of coming up out of that water, even as a child, that I am a new creation right now.
So cool.
And it was just so cool to watch that, but even watch the parents' perspective because everyone's just so emotional in that moment. So it was just really cool, man. And it was just cool to see the hunger in everyone, even from my perspective, looking from the stage over and just seeing those two lines. I mean, those two lines we were talking about earlier were huge. And I just told myself, I'm like, dear God, the hunger that's in people right now, and the hunger that's on this beach. And it's so cool because I know the word was spreading throughout California. California, I kind of saw this picture like over California. It's almost like built like a grid. If you really look at a satellite view of California, there are hundreds of streets going all different directions. So it was just cool to have this picture of the word getting out of what God is doing. Yeah. And being spread through all the streets, neighborhoods, street corners, businesses. And I know the word was getting out because you could see random people walking up and it's like this curiosity of like, what's happening right now?
So crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
Yeah. I was like thinking about that earlier today too, about how like, I think obviously one of the bigger reasons too why, I think we do this is because we're called to this state, right? And so we're going to fight for this state.
Oh yeah.
We're going to fight for this state spiritually. And so this is our way of doing it. And I think some people don't like, maybe there may be some people who don't know that. Like, oh, we're just doing baptisms because it's Pentecost Sunday. Of course we're doing that. But there's also the side of it of like, because we love the state and we're going to take it back. Like spiritually, the state is coming back to the Lord. Like this is God's state, And I think it's cool to see the people rise up. Yeah. There's a hunger, like you're saying, there's a hunger. And so in the supernatural, there are thousands of people rising up to the call and to the occasion for such a time as this. That's like, good. I'm here because I'm called here and I'm not leaving. And so I'm going to fight spiritually for this state, you know?
It's awesome.
Like I'm not satisfied. And so it starts with me. And it's cool to see people take that, like that step of like, I want God and I want other people to want to know him too.
Yeah, it's good.
So I was kind of seeing that, like that, also that kind of perspective with the whole thing. And I think it's so special because it's like, I just feel like you don't really see that too often of like, wow, look at this revival. Like, look at this movement.
Yeah.
Look what God is doing. It's pretty evident that the Lord is moving in here right now, like through this time.
Yeah.
Through that event. Can't wait to see all of them, you know, in the future of everything that's about to happen. Like, like we were talking about this the other day at church. It's like we're trying to set the standard of making this normal.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking over. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's so fun. It's cool. Like, boom, we're taking land, man.
And to see what I love is to see pastors and churches come together.
Collab,
Like not really much being in their lane.
for sure.
But emerging.
Yeah, none of this like
And
my
taking-
church, your church type of deal. It's like, no, we're brothers and sisters. We all belong to Jesus. Let's go and fight together.
Yeah.
And you saw the unity. You felt it.
Yes.
All the pastors shout out to all the pastors that were there helping
100%,
out on
100%.
stage, even the ones that weren't there on stage that were at their churches all over the state. But it's like, shout out all of you guys, men, women, all of you pastors that were doing it, because without you, there is none of this.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You know? And so, man, it was so cool. So cool. Because it was so authoritative.
Yeah. Oh, they were amped for sure.
Yeah. And I felt that. It was so authoritative
Mm-hmm.
in the spiritual, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's something important to kind of pin out, is that there was a new authority that came over, you know, anyone that was there, anyone that even saw it or heard it, like they felt it. You know?
Yeah.
There was something new that was being birthed at there.
I think the one thing I was taking some joy at is I knew it was pissing the devil off.
100%.
I was for sure pissing the devil off. And what I loved looking out was the people's faces. Like the one word I can only describe from looking out and seeing every individual was the joy
Yeah.
that was just amplifying within that sand.
Yeah.
Like everyone's all together. And it was like a big just family reunion, everyone coming together. And so I knew it. I knew what happened that day was a stake being put in the ground of not only a memorial, but it was history.
Yeah. There was a moment when I was on stage on Sunday night when Bethel was playing, and I looked out to the crowd.
It was so good.
Dude, because they were just playing like the guitar. They weren't singing at the time. The crowd was singing.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was jumping up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, they're
I was
getting hyped.
like, this is sick.
Oh, yeah, they were getting hyped.
Yeah, it was so cool seeing that, because like, first of all, all the artists that played were phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was so good. But of course they were, because they are good. Like, you know, it wasn't, you know, they showed up and they showed out. Like, I think everybody had the best performance they've ever had. That's how I felt, because it was just like, you just felt it. You know, everyone's singing whatever they were singing. It was just, there were so many words being spoken through the songs, through worship, and you just felt every word through every song that was sang this weekend.
And shout out to all the artists, because everyone carried a significant weight, and we needed that. Everyone played a significant part, like everyone did.
Yeah.
And it was the right people.
It
and
was.
the right timing
Yeah.
of when their set was exactly what needed to be said and what needed to be done.
Yes.
So shout out to all them, because there not only was a cost for that, but there was a weight to carry within that as well.
Yeah.
And so shout out to them because they absolutely bombed it. And also shout out to Ocean Set because David, Pastor Mel, like all the whole team, they slayed.
Yeah.
Slayed. I think it was the both sets that they had ended up playing throughout the weekend was just awesome.
Yeah. No,
They were so good.
Yes. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It was just epic because, like you said, you see all the kids dancing.
Oh, yeah.
All the kids dancing. And it's not about, this is about the next generation too. And you see it. Mm-hmm. You see it's coming alive. Mm-hmm. You see it through the kids. And there's such a spiritual like awakening in them through this that like, I don't know, this is something they'll never forget.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they're never going to because the fact that we're planning to do this as a church every year, they're growing up in this environment. Like, it's going to help train them and raise them up as leaders. And they're going to be leading this thing at some point, whether it's through music or on stage, preaching, whatever it is. Like, it's like, this is exactly what it was supposed to be. These kids are receiving it. The families are receiving it. There's miracles breaking out. There's signs and wonders happening. It's like it is a literal move of God from generation to generation by doing this. And it's so cool.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite moments was I got off the stage. I just hadn't really walked around just because I was just kind of in my zone and stuff. And I walked on the other side of the fence, and the view I got of leaders pulling those wheelchairs.
Oh my gosh.
It was so awesome to see that because they have, I'm sure they're at a lot of beaches, but it's these, they are at a lot. They're at like every beach, but I'm thinking they're only here. It's a beach wheelchair. It's a beach. I'm thinking they're only here. It's a beach wheelchair because I've seen them outside of California.
So they're super heavy and
super heavy. These
tires.
Gigantic like rubber tires.
Yeah.
It was just so cool because people that could not walk in the sand, they had to be pulled. But to watch a leader, sweat pouring down them, pulling them, pushing them, they came in clutch.
Yeah,
like the leaders that were assigned to do that, we freaking honor you.
Yeah.
Like seriously. But to watch the people pick them up and to baptize them in the water, the ones that couldn't stand or walk in the water, was a sight to see.
It's so cool.
And that was special.
Bro, you see that being played out by like in the Bible in the New Testament where they're, the friends are laying their friend down from the roof. The man who cannot walk.
Yeah.
So his friends are carrying him up the stairs and, they carry him up the ladder into the hole of the roof.
Yeah.
And lay
So
him
good.
down. It's the same thing. And you see it played out in modern day.
It's so good.
Something like that. Where it's like, dude, they can't walk, but you're in a wheelchair. And even if they're pushing them, like, dude, they're pushing them in the wheelchair. That walk from the boardwalk to the water is not short, first of all.
Oh, no.
Especially in sand.
It's like a quarter of a mile or
your
more.
Your feet just, like, it's not a solid walk.
What was that again?
But it's like you're just sinking in sand.
Oh, yeah.
And so I can imagine the weight of the wheelchair alone, but then once you put a person in it, it's super difficult to push them across the sand.
It really is.
Let alone thousands of people like on the sand in front of you.
Yeah, having to maneuver around people, but the moment they got to the edge of that little slope, and they would pick people up because it's cool because you can see it from the screen, but seeing it from the stage, it was just so special.
It's so cool seeing all of the news like articles coming out. LA Times, Washington Times, CBN, just to name a few. But I came across one article that said a Satanist came and got baptized. I don't know the details of the person or what they were experiencing or how they were living.
That's
but
incredible.
It literally said Satanist was baptized at Baptized California.
That's awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So you want to talk about the devil being pissed?
Oh, yeah.
He lost one of his own. See ya.
Yeah.
Ain't going back.
Deuces.
Yeah, later.
That's awesome.
It's so wild, dude.
What was the article? Do you remember?
It was on one of the IG pages that was like being reposted through.
Dude, that's awesome.
Someone reposted it, and I clicked on it, and it was just like the headline. So I didn't have the link at the time, so I couldn't read all of it. But if we Google it, it's up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So super crazy, man.
And even in those moments, heaven was just ecstatic.
Dude.
Ecstatic.
I'm getting the holy chills right now.
Just ecstatic. And I could only imagine, but truly like really seeing it, the smile of Jesus over that beach that day.
Yeah.
And not just over that beach, over the entire state, over every pastor and leader and servant in church that was willing to say yes. Because you never know what's behind your yes.
Yeah.
And this was a big yes.
Yeah.
And look what the outcome was.
Yeah.
And now the fruit of what this yes is going to do, to people in Huntington Beach, here in Southern California, but also all over the state, and Baptize America.
Yeah, for sure. Baptize America is going to be wild.
That's going to be nuts.
100%.
Can you imagine that there was 56 out of the 58 counties? Can you imagine the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of counties
I know.
for Baptize America? That's going to be nuts.
About to be lit.
It's going to be lit.
It's
It's going to be wild.
It's going to get wild, for sure.
But
so cool.
To kind of bring this to a close, we love you guys. And we just wanted to share this past weekend. I would encourage y'all, I would go back and watch. I want to go back and watch it because from my point of view, there was a lot obviously I didn't see.
Yeah.
I could see because the LED screen was right there, but actually seeing it in person is a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraging myself. I'm going to go back and watch it, but I would encourage you guys, check out Baptize California and watch it. And if you've never been baptized, get baptized.
Yeah, and if you don't have a local church,
Get plugged in.
and yeah, if you want to come to Oceans Church in Irvine, come.
Hey, come on.
Please come. It's going to be sick. It's, we're already gearing up for next year, man.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to be part of this, there's room for more.
Yeah.
So,
yes, there is room for more.
There's room for more. So
There's always room for Jesus.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because he's eternity.
Yeah.
Eternity, everything can fit in eternity.
I feel like the Lord would be like, man, like Sunday night, it happened. Jesus is sitting on his throne. He's like, that was so good. You wake up Monday morning, he goes, let's do it again.
Hey, there, see, that's so good.
Let's do it again.
I love that so much. He's like, man, that was good. You ready for more?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
now?
what, yeah, for real. If you almost feel like, you almost kind of get that sense of like, you thought this was big.
Hey, yeah, it's
Do you
true.
know what I mean? And it was. But it's like, God's like, oh, get ready for the next.
Oh, yeah.
So-
God's so much bigger than what we can just think, what we try to comprehend.
Yeah.
He's so much bigger and better.
Yeah. So cool, man.
We love y'all.
We love Jesus more.
He loves you.
Come on.
Pray blessing over y'all today. Enjoy your day.
Amen.
Love y'all.
Amen. If this episode impacted you in any way, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone else you might think will be positively impacted by it too.
Let's get it.
Let's go.